So it's going to be recorded on the YouTube. So whenever you go to the YouTube site of BPW Istanbul, you are going to be able to watch it. So we are online.
And welcome, everyone. It is a great pleasure to see you with us tonight. And it's a great pleasure to hosting Tommy tonight with us. I believe despite the pandemic made impossible for us to meet in person, on a bright side, we can host people all around the world. And kindly, Tommy accepted our offer. And today she will talk about the young women's expectations after the pandemic. But before that, although most of us know who she is, I would like to ask her if it's okay. Can you introduce yourself to us a little bit and your path crossed with BPW?
Okay. All protocols observed to all the executives on this live meeting, and also past executive or anyone holding a leadership position in BPW as a whole. I welcome you and I greet you. I greet everybody here tonight, all members, clubs, region, and from all over the world. Thank you for having me. So my name is Tomi Odosi Fadino. I am an actor, a singer, and a songwriter, and also the CEO of CGT Media Limited, which is a creative digital communications company based in Nigeria. How did I get to meet or come in contact with BPW? So I have a mentor that I really respect very much, and one day she told me, Tommy, I really want you to come to a meeting. And I said, okay, what's the meeting about? He said, just come, And I went there with open minds and just said, you know what, let's see what they have, let's see what they're doing here. And I got there and I got the most shocker of my life. I've always had this perception of when women gather, it's always, war, bitterness, complications. But what shocked me when I got into this meeting was the love, the unity that everyone had, the welcome smiles, everybody was equal. There was no segregation, no, oh, look, you're young. In fact, the older ones were so young, in fact, I felt like I belonged there. For the first time in my entire life, I could see women coming together for the good of humanity. And I just wanted to be part of it. Before the end of the meeting, my mentor just turned to me and said, you know what, you're going to start the Lekki Club. I was like, what? I don't know anything about BPW. How am I supposed to start? And let's be reminded that back then, I was just too involved in everything about my career and the limelight and all of that. So although I have love for humanity and and I normally give myself to all, to charities and things, but this time around was different in terms of I will be the one mobilizing people and bringing people together to make such an impact. And I felt that was such a big responsibility that I wasn't sure that I was ready for. And I wasn't sure what to do really, but something inside of me just, stood up to the table and said, you know what, this is a challenge and I would do it. I don't know what this is about, but as long as it is for the good of humanity, I'll give in and I'll put my best. And that was how the journey started. And I just gave my best. I gave all that I can give we did our inauguration. It was fantastic. A lot of young people were so interested. I was shocked. I was, I was shocked. I was like, so people also want to, young people care about making an impact like this. I didn't know. I didn't know. I just thought that they all wanted to just, be entertained and live life and be young, but now I find that a lot of young people want a life that is more meaningful. They want to live a more meaningful life and they want to make positive impact in their world. And I find that um, amazing. I find that amazing. And so my journey started then, and here I am with great women making impacts and learning along the way. So that's about me so far.
Well, it is actually an interesting story, but it is good to have you with us. So we are grateful to your mentor to introduce you with BPW family.
Thank you so much. Her name is Mrs. Vivian Bangoye. She's the president of BPW Local Club.
Well, so thank you if she is with us tonight. I cannot see the participants now, but we are grateful to her. And I would like to give you the floor for your presentation. So
okay.
We are here to listen you.
Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Sorry about that. I think it has to load a bit. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be speaking to us today about young women's expectations post-COVID era. And I'm going to be narrowing down to young BPW's expectation for the BPW organization. I think it's only fair that I do that because the post-COVID era affects us as well as it does with the world. So my objective for tonight is to highlight young BPW's expectation on BPW organization as well as vice versa, to also give confidence and reassurance to members in this time of crisis and recovery, to empower members with the tools to navigate the organization and the world at large during this time. And my overall goal is to encourage active membership. So we're in a new wave in the same world. The pandemic has forced us to begin to adapt to new changes. This inconsistency has resulted to a lot of uncertainty, anxiety, especially with young women. Some people's response to this may be to pursue new adventures, new careers, while some are left in a state of not having clarity and direction, no motivation, and eventually the depression. A new study states that Canada shows that more young women have been turning to post-secondary education. At the start of 2020/2021 school year, post-secondary school attendance rose from 48% last year to 53% this year for women aged between 17 and 19, and from 46% to 50% for women aged 20 to 24. While other studies also show that the rate of depression among young people is higher now than during the heat of the pandemic, which has given a lot of rise to suicidal rates and crime. My expectations are as follows. The demand for leadership accountability. As a young woman, I think that I'm expecting now, because the pandemic has shocked us a lot, and this has also revealed the the inconsistencies in our leadership in the world. And I believe that this is a time where we young people are beginning to demand for leadership accountability. I also believe that empathy in leadership is very important, because it's a time where mental health should be taken seriously. And while we are leading, we should be mental health leaders in terms of working with our teams, working with in the workplace. In everything we do, we should consider that our moods may affect our teams. If we're having a bad day, we just have to learn to manage our emotions this time, so that we are sure that we are not affecting the other person negatively or rubbing off negatively. I also expect that there's a demand for better governance, especially in my country. It is highly important that these times have reviewed I've reviewed the lack of better governance in our countries, and this is a time where we really have to be looking at better governance in our countries. And so I threw this topic to the young BPW Nigeria, and I was very amazed about how much a lot of us had to say. And I said, you know what, I think it's better for me to share this, because we're all young people, and this time really affects every one of us. So I'm going to be taking a few points from what we discussed concerning this topic in our club. So in our national in Nigeria, in the Nigerian BPW club. So Omason Yeni, who is the young BPW Nigeria, says that my post-COVID expectation includes 3 days weekend, 4 days work day. I think New Zealand is test running or implementing this. While she also says that remote work should become more mainstream, better healthcare services, especially in African countries, and the vaccine production in Nigeria. She's narrowing down to Nigeria. And we can't keep relying on others to provide vaccines for us. Open borders for easy movement across the country. Victoria from Nigeria also says that my post-COVID expectation includes improved healthcare service, improving the quality of education in all levels. The agricultural sector should be worked on for more productivity. Skill acquisition is to be encouraged on all levels of life. We should believe more in ourselves and our products than imported goods. Okwe Adeneye from BPW Nigeria also says that post-COVID expectation broken down. As a continent, the need to be better prepared for emergencies such as this cannot be overemphasized. This is not the first time the world is experiencing a pandemic, an epidemic, and it is unlikely going to be the last. Strategic thinking must come to play. Scenario analysis to raise various solutions to possible issues that may arise. Nations must begin to work together and not against one another to achieve this. This pandemic has spared most of Africa, glory to God, but it gives an opportunity for introspection and preparation against another, even if it might not be for another 100 years. On a national level, this one is a tough one because as a nation, Nigeria is faced with so much more than just a pandemic. There's a system of governance that needs to be done away with. We have seen that good leadership steers the people in the right path, and bad leadership does the opposite. So with this in view, I expect that people would register to both vote and be voted for in the next cycle of election, which by the way has already started. Without good leadership, all the loss of this season would be a waste. We must not continue with our old mindset of my vote does not count. Vote first. Personal and on a personal and professional level, just as suggested on the higher level, I expect both businesses and individuals to begin to think strategically as to how to position one's business and personal lives to be adaptable to sudden changes beyond our control. How flexible can we be without compromising our core value? A change in this pattern, in the pattern people save and invest, what they choose to invest in, and an awareness of ensuring that self and family must be a priority. So on an overall level, I would say that a different perspective to consider this season is to manage the changes and how it affects us personally. To know that what keeps a great organization as a heritage brand is the ability to preserve the integral aspect of what made them in existence in the first place and move with the times, to show more empathy in all that we do, to get more creative and innovative. Great innovations happen in times of uncertainty. And as for me, I believe that the only cure for anxiety is faith. Faith brings hope. So in everything that we do, I believe that we should have a little bit of faith to move and forge ahead. That's the only way we can cure and get rid of the predominance of anxiety that we have in the society right now. So narrowing down to BPW and the young BPW's expectation from the organization. Based on the survey taken at the beginning of my tenure, I am going to highlight some of the expectations of the young people that you can see on my screen. They have spoken mostly about transparency as a whole, organization, improved leadership, opportunities for the young, proper onboarding for new members, because they believe that a lot of young people are a little bit lost in terms of knowledge about the organization. I mean, we're a 90-year-old organization, and it's not easy to know about a 90-year-old woman, for example. She has many layers to herself, so many stories, so many beautiful stories ahead of her that we need to know. And there has to be that proper onboarding for new members and even existing members. Professionalism in the organization. These are the young people's expectation, young BPW's expectation that we received from the survey. And I want to assure that this triennium will treat these issues as priority. So now, what is BPW's expectation from young members? Because I think that we should discuss this. I think that is very necessary for us to know what our expectations are as young members. What I see as a barrier is that BPW seems to be too broad to understand, not knowing where to start from, cannot figure out the opportunities. So there's no motivation or there's loss of zeal. Nobody to help navigate the organization. The issue with women's association. I know that young people have a stereotyped mindset about, being amongst the young at heart, the older generation. And I think that these are the conversations that we should have moving forward. So my thoughts, my solution is to first get rid of the you to consider the you factor. The you factor, which is the mindset. The mindset is come to the organization with an open mind, without stereotypes, without intergenerational stereotype. I'm speaking to everybody as a whole now. Sometimes the older members also have the stereotypes about the young ones that most likely might not be might not be might not be true, except you get to meet the person and get to form a kind of relationship with the young. So I am suggesting that we consider that we remove all that stereotype from our mindset and come with an open mind, just like I did at the beginning of my experience with BPW. I also want to say that BPW is what you make of it. It's important that we have our personal goals and our goals for what we want to achieve for the organization. And also a solid online onboarding structure would go a long way for us, in making sure that our members are active and are encouraged. So a solid onboarding structure. An overall challenge all clubs are currently experiencing is inactive members. On an average, it takes more than 2 years for a new member to become active or not active at all. We want to shorten this process by creating a solid onboarding process for new members so that they can get acquainted, get involved, and start to make a positive impact in the organization as soon as possible. And the onboarding process would include the pre-membership onboarding, first step model of onboarding process, brand loyalty process. I think that our organization has a lot of stories behind us. We have a lot of history behind us that members should know about and and learn from. I think it would be quite interesting to have an interactive session for this. I also believe that the first day, 90-day onboarding starter pack should be given to every new member in terms of how to navigate the organization. And also a 6 to 1 year activity guideline for new members. I think this will go a long way to making sure that we are all active. For existing members, I would like to ask us, who is an active member? So I was able to pinpoint a few, like a 5 points as far as I can think. If there are more, please, I will welcome you to send me a message or something I can add to it. But I see an active member as a due payer. You pay your due regularly, every year, yearly. You contribute your time, your skill, your talent to BPW projects and activity. You sponsor with goodwill and kind contributions to BPW projects and activity. You engage online, such as you follow, comment, like, share, save, subscribe. You attend events and activities both live and virtual. So I would like to do a little exercise right now and ask you, are you a 5-star member? Are you a BPW 5-star member? You can put it in the chat box. Be honest with yourself. If you are a 5-star, a BPW 5-star member, it's okay if you are not. I mean, it's a place to start. At least you know where you are at and where we need to start working on. So put it in the chat box. Let me see if you are a BPW 5-star member. While we do that, I'll move forward. So I have some tips on how we as young people can engage and become more active in our clubs. And just a tip, It's not the full detail for the tip. Map out your goals. Remember that this is a network of business and professional women. Create a perception that aligns with your principles and work ethics to encourage recommendation. Identify key people that will be relevant to your goal. Start a project of interest. Research existing high visibility projects. Join a team or start your own and collaborate. Ask questions. I find that a lot of young people, especially in the group, don't ask questions because, and I can understand because it's kind of overwhelming to be in an organization that is 90 years and it's just a lot of information to get to assimilate in at first glance. But if you ask questions, step by step, you begin to find answers. Attend live and virtual events and conferences is very important. I remember Nelima will send me events. I used to wonder why she's sending me events, like until I started to attend and I realized that the events, the conferences and these events were more beneficial to myself than the people presenting it. And that was such a big push for me and an inspiration for me to continue to forge ahead and keep going for these events. They really do help. They help to get you acquainted with the organization. Take advantage of the WhatsApp group. There are so many resources around us that we are not tapping into. Get updated. Follow as many BPW social media pages, local and international. I mean, I think that the things that really helped me to navigate the organization was just following BPW social media pages. I find that, I get more information than most of the other members that we're not following. So I urge you today, any BPW, once you go to your Instagram, Facebook, and you type BPW, all our social media pages comes out. Just keep following, get updated on what is happening all over the world through our social media pages. So the key statement here is do not let not knowing enough about BPW hold you back. It is a continuous learning process. The opportunities, I would say that the need for cooperation is very important, especially for this triennium. And so any initiative, projects or activity that incorporate this theme in any ways will definitely get global attention. Cooperation as a key word. It could be intergenerational collaboration like we're having right now, where we have everyone present. BPW twinning, mentorship, reverse mentorship, any kind of fresh ideas that depict cooperation would really go a long way this triennium and will get global attention, BPW global attention. Also, get updated on BPW activities. The more you engage, the more opportunities you find. And also, this is an opportunity for anyone interested to join my inner circle. I always say that inner circle, but it is us all. We are all the inner circle, the young, where we are going to carry ourselves along, learn from one another, grow together, and start to lay that foundation for ourselves together. Just like how when I came to BPW, the togetherness, the unity is what is still driving me till today. And I believe that we should all come together to do this. So this is question time. My own question is, what can I do to serve you better? Any ideas, suggestions, recommendations, please put it in the chat box or please mention it. Or please send me an email or please DM or anything. Send me WhatsApp messages, anything that suggests, what we can do better for this training. And please do not forget, follow Young BPW International on all social media platforms. I believe that our social media platforms, they are an asset to us. They are an asset because when it comes to sponsorship, partnerships with brands. I see social media as an asset to barter with one another. And if we don't have that following, that engagement, that presence on our social media, yes, being an heritage brand and all the great strides that we have achieved over the years could be a plus. But if we don't have great presence online on our social media, it it will look like we are not moving with the times. And we have to be an organization that is on top of this, that has online global presence. So I urge every one of us to follow our social media pages, both national, local, and international. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tommy. And I would like to give the floor for the audiences who would like to ask questions or would like to express their opinions, as you said, what they are expecting from young members or what they can suggest us to do better. Especially from the more experienced members, we would like to have their guidance, actually.
Okay, can I?
Of course, Pinella, first you, and then I'm going to give the floor to Joanna.
Only to congratulate with Tommy for this program, for this plan that you presented, that you showed. Very, 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 very happy for this because you are so young, but you have good ideas, and I suggest you to present, to diffuse this program among federations and clubs, because